everyone. Welcome to the live stream. I am your host, your KevinlyFather. By special request tonight, Lindsay out in North Carolina and or South Carolina and or West Carolina, possibly East Carolina because she's right on the ocean as far as I understand, has requested that we watch Sean Hannity interviewing Caitlyn Jenner. So let's do that. I can't spend a whole ton of time with it already because I have to go buy a lab coat. I have to go to a thrift store and find a lab coat. I already went to one. They didn't have any. Those are the best places to buy lab coats, by the way. And if you can find a thrift store near a hospital, I just realized what I said, and brain, thank you very much. I'm going to the thrift store. There's a Goodwill right by the hospital, and that is where I'm going to go. Is she even in here? Is Lindsay even in here? By the way, not Lindsey Graham. Although also Lindsey Graham from South Carolina. So far, no Lindsay. Should we wait for her or should we just get going? Hold on, I'll give her a call. Lindsay.
Yeah.
Lindsay, we're doing the show for you now.
Yeah, the show?
Yeah, the show.
What show?
Well, the show you asked for, the Hannity show.
I have a yellow dress.
You have a yellow dress on?
Yeah, I have a yellow.
Oh, okay. That's great. Are you gonna tune in where everyone's waiting for you so that we can watch the show with you?
I like peanut butter.
You like peanut butter?
Yeah, I really like it.
Okay, well, that's a lot of people like peanut butter. Does everybody like peanut butter? While we're waiting for her, could you just please come to the live stream?
I have a dog.
Yes, we know you have a dog. She's so annoying. Hi Dale, hi Deidre, hi Cindy, hi Stephanie, hi Restreambot, that would be Ann. Hi producer Joanna, hi Marcy Grover, hello Christopher Ryan, hello KevinlyFather. Somebody else was in here too. I think I said Stephanie already. Oh, sirens. Can you guys hear that? Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna, I'm seriously gonna, I'm gonna say what the hell. I'm tweeting her right now. What the hell? Question mark. We're all waiting for you. Oh, there she is. I mean, boy, can't wait till you get here, Lindsay. Everyone's so anxious for you to get here. Oh, hold on a second. YouTube just notified me. KevinlyFather is broadcasting right now. We should go check that out.
It's at a crossroads.
So, Lindsay, I thought, so I've got a lot to do tonight. I got to get the lab coat. I got to go find, it's going to take me 2 or 3 or 4 thrift stores to find it, right? And they close. It's now 7 o'clock. They close at some point, is what I understand with thrift stores. And I have nothing but goodwill towards the thrift stores. But when they close at 6, come on. You're serving the working people. It's like polling places in Georgia and or East Carolina. So I have to do that, and then I've got like 2 auditions, which is kind of cool. That's why I need the lab coat to do an audition. So I thought, oh, good, we'll cover like a segment on Hannity, which is usually about 2.5 minutes. Kaylee Macaroni comes on, spews some nonsense, holds up some paper. That's the proof, and we're out. It's like the whole show. We're still live. She could still be on. I don't even know. This is about 4 minutes in.
Governor is now facing a recall election. The people of California will have a critical decision to make. Now, one candidate, Caitlyn Jenner, is vowing a new path, a new vision forward for the people of California. Take a look.
California needs a disruptor, a compassionate disruptor. I came here with a dream 48 years ago to be the greatest athlete in the world. Now I enter a different kind of race, arguably my most important one yet, to save California. I want to carry the torch for the parents who had to balance work and their child's education, for business owners who were forced to shut down, for pastors who were not able to be with their congregation, for the family who lost their home in a fire, for an entire generation of students who lost a year of education. This past year has redefined our career politicians as elitists. and the people of California as the warriors, the kings, and the angels. We never take kindly to glass ceilings here. Instead, we shatter them.
This one's way out there.
We're the trailblazers, the innovators. California is facing big hurdles. Now, we need leaders who are unafraid to leap to new
Wasn't that the Cape Canaveral?
heights.
That's CAITLYN. I'm not supposed to say her dead name, but that was her winning an Olympic gold medal.
Who are unafraid to challenge and to change the status quo.
I want to prove that it is absolutely possible if we only do it together.
These are all just stock video images.
California, it's time to reopen our schools, reopen our businesses, reopen the Golden Gates. So I don't care if you're a Republican,
The Golden Gate is not closed.
Democrat. I'm running to be governor for all Californians, to reclaim our true identity, to bring back the gold to the Golden State.
What a tremendous victory.
Now is the time to achieve that summit, to be the shining city on the hill, and together we'll restore and renew the California dream.
So just how will CAITLYN restore that California dream, and can she actually beat the state's very powerful...
But I thought Hannity spends all his time talking about how California is just nothing but a cesspool. But oh, look at that beautiful picture. Now that we're talking about CAITLYN Jenner and Hope, look at that beautiful picture of the ferry. So that, I believe, is the cruise ship, the Grand Princess, that 700 cases of COVID were aboard. I don't know. Not sure.
Full Democratic machine. One note, by the way, moments ago, CAITLYN wrapped up a private event with supporters. They decided to stick around. Welcome, all of you. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. And CAITLYN Jenner now joins us.
Wait a second, after that opening?
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
That's the campaign?
Why? Why would you... Okay. You're not following someone. It was all about you. You say that when you're following somebody before you who does a great job.
I'm moving on. Yeah, that was the scariest thing I've ever heard. Yeah.
Oh, she must be talking about his opening monologue. Shall we check that out? Hold on. We're at 6:44. Let's see what he's talking about. Oh, California in crisis. That's right. Skid Row. Okay, so it was all about bad news about California. Unemployment rate, 8.3%. It wasn't.
Well, it's all true.
It is true. It absolutely is true. First of all, I got a gift.
Oh, thank you. What is it?
I know.
love gifts.
We're into the face mask thing out here in California, so I thought I would get you one.
Hannity supports CAITLYN. He's not allowed to. He's on the news. Okay.
Recalled Gavin Newsom.
By the way, I support the recall.
Yeah.
Let me be very clear.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing when you think about it.
I have no problem with the recall, except that it's going to cost the taxpayers of California $28 million. That's a ridiculous amount of money. Hold on. It's how much? $400 million? $400 million? We are sinking almost $500 million into this recall so that CAITLYN Jenner can run? When I said 28 million, that was too much, wasn't it? It's 400.
I just have such respect for athletes. You know, you didn't win the gold in 72. You came back in 76, and you won the gold. A great Olympian, a great champion. And you really, well, I always say politics is a blood sport.
It is.
And a part of me say, what the hell are you thinking? This is hard.
It was not an easy decision. It took an awfully long time. I've always been involved in politics for the LGBT community. I used to go back.
Supported Trump, big time, by the way. And then later withdrew her support. I don't know where she's sitting on that fence now.
But in 1973, I graduated from college in Iowa. I packed up my 63 VW bug and drove across the country, everything I owned in the back seat. And I was coming to California, the Golden State. I went to San Jose. Why? Because San Jose was where all the great athletes lived. I had met him in my first Olympics in 1972. And me as a decathlete, I wanted to learn from all these other great athletes. In fact, in 1976, we placed fifth as a nation with 3 gold medals, a silver and a bronze within a 5-mile radius of my house. I put myself with some of these great athletes and I learned so much. I want to do the same thing now. I want to take that same fight, that same spirit, go to Sacramento, surround myself with some of the smartest people out there. I am an outsider. I understand that. Smartest people out there, because now I'm in a race for solutions. I need to find solutions to be able to turn this state around. I absolutely love this state. I'm a fighter, always have been. I come from a long line of fighters. My grandfather was in World War I, was in the dead pile. Somebody was walking by and heard a moan, and they said, oh my God, somebody's alive in here, and pulled him out, and he wound up going on and living a very good life.
Dead pile, I mean, they thought that he was dead.
He thought he was dead. Yeah, he had the tag on his foot and everything. But went on to live a good life.
That's like Jesus.
My father, when he was 19, in fact, welcome to my hangar. This is actually my hangar. I have pictures on the wall of my father over there when he was 19. When World War II was breaking out, he wanted to fight. And so he joined the 5th Ranger Battalion. Landed with the first boats on Omaha Beach. 300
All right, do you guys want to hear this stuff? I'm kind of bored with this stuff. We can skip ahead to when he starts answering your questions.
164 guys in his division, 60 came back alive.
Wow. Let me get in.
And just so, he's buried at Arlington with all his buddies. And I thought to myself, you know what? If we can fight, because we got to fight, and you say it all the time. If we can fight, somebody's got to stand up. You know? I'm not going up Omaha Beach. I'm going up in Sacramento. But we have to change things.
All right, let's see.
I love this country. I'm a patriarch. I love this state. The state's not.
I want you to define what a compassionate disruptor is, words you've used to describe yourself. And then we'll get into the specifics of what it would take for California, a state you clearly love, to recover. And are you a Republican or a Democrat? You know,
what I see in Gavin Newsom is a politician up to special interests, makes his decision as a politician in special interests, and the hypocrisy that is going on right now. It's like there's one set of rules for Sacramento, and there's another set of rules for everybody else.
Yep.
I mean, you've seen the video of him at the French Laundry, okay? I can't.
French Laundry is a very expensive restaurant up north, and he had dinner with 9 other or 8 other people, someone's birthday, and this is during the time when that wasn't allowed.
I go down to my restaurant, and all the employees in that restaurant down there are not working, okay? And he's up there dining. We see Nancy Pelosi.
What's KAITLYN's restaurant?
I can't go to my hair salon. All the salons in my town are closed. Nobody can go in there. Nobody's working. People are losing money. But she can sneak in.
She does have pretty fabu hair.
And it's the hypocrisy of what's going on. Yes, it is a dynasty, I guess you could say, in Sacramento. They've really been in charge for the last 40 years. I mean, we had Reagan come in a little bit, Arnold come in a little bit as Republicans, but it's been a dynasty.
Yeah, because people keep voting them in. Yeah, we had Reagan in, and they voted him out, and then Brown was in there, Governor was in there. Yeah, I mean, there's been a bunch of... I don't know why that's a dynasty.
And as we see what happens here, and in the recall,
all right,
everybody was behind the recall. They needed 1.5 million votes. They got 2.1. But of course, The Democrats had to verify every signature.
Yeah. God forbid that the Democrats want to do some sort of election integrity. God forbid.
Isn't it shocking?
It doesn't shock me.
And eventually they had wound up, after they disallowed like 500,000 of them, and they had 1.6. So the recall is on.
Yes. They disallowed over 100,000 Mickey Mouse signatures. Yes.
But I'm really fighting against the hypocrisy that's going on at that. He's been bad on every issue. He's bad on taxes. Obviously, the most taxed state in the nation. He's been horrible for business. Obviously, companies are leaving left and right. 18,000 companies have left California. My friends are leaving California. Actually, we're at my hangar. The guy across right over.
18,000 companies have left or have closed down in California. Companies have closed down across the nation. God, I heard the stat today of the number of restaurants that have closed, and it blew my mind. And now I'm sorely sorry. It was such a large number that my head just exploded. I'll find it.
He was packing up his hangar. I said, "Where are you going?" And he says, "I'm moving to Sedona, Arizona. I can't take it here anymore. I can't walk down the streets and see the homeless. I don't want to leave." Okay, either I stay and fight, or I get out of here.
Let's describe, you can answer the specific.
The second option doesn't sound so bad to me.
Are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? Are you independent? And I really want you to define this term, a compassionate disruptor. What is a compassionate disruptor?
I've kind of played around with that term. And originally I started out as a compassionate disruptor. And then I was thinking the other day, I think I'm more of a thoughtful disruptor. I have common sense. Okay, I see what's going on, and I see no common sense in politics and why they're doing it, besides only for political reasons. And I have always been on the Republican side just because I have conservative economic values. The old saying, lower taxes, less regulations, a more friendly business environment. And we don't have that in California. But socially, I've been much more progressive.
In 2020, 2.3 million restaurant jobs were lost.
All my life. I get it. People do need help. We need programs. But you cannot have social programs without an economy. Doesn't happen. You just don't have the finances to do it. And that's what's happening here in California. And so it's been so frustrating for me. I don't care. Honestly, I like everybody. I'm friends with everybody.
I don't like everybody. There are people I don't like in life. But
I can get along with anybody, Sean. I can get along. So honestly, I don't really care if you're a Republican.
Wow. Okay, so this is an actual stat from Joe Biden today. It's part of the COVID rescue package. There's a bunch of money in there for restaurants, and now Republicans are lauding that money. All these Republican Congress people are tweeting out like, hey, there's money for restaurants, which is fine, but they're not mentioning in there, I didn't vote for this, but here you go. Today, Ron DeSantis was announced that he'll be giving $1,000 bonuses to a bunch of police officers. Because Republicans love police officers. That money comes from the Joe Biden COVID rescue plan passed by nothing but Democrats. Not a single Republican voted for that, but Ron DeSantis is happy to hold a press conference. I'm giving all the cops money. I love the cops. We're not going to defund the police. So part of the process of getting the money from the rescue package to the restaurants is a very simple application. They opened up the window for applications on Monday. Between Monday and today, 186,200 applications came in. 186,000 applications from restaurants. Looks like, the application right now, it looks like we're going to be able to help about 100,000 restaurants recover from the pandemic. 2.3 million restaurant jobs lost last year. Bunch of other stats. You can watch Joe Biden's speech from today.
Democrat, a libertarian, vegetarian. It doesn't make any difference to me. I want solutions. If the Democrats are able to come up with great solutions, I am behind that 100%. Solutions to bring this state back and to give the power.
We have a $15 billion surplus. What do you mean bring this state back? You talking about the homeless? Easy fix. Get rid of their whole, civil rights. You can contain them. Otherwise, you've got to deal with mental illness. And if they're not a danger to themselves or others, there's literally nothing anyone in this country can do about homelessness. Now, there are all kinds of things you can do about homelessness in general, but mental illness needs to be part of that package. And again, if they are not a danger to themselves or others, they can live on the street. Now, if a city, I don't even want to get into it. It's a much, much, much bigger topic than that. $15 would fix it. $18 an hour would fix the fact that it's hard to find employees for some restaurants right now. Plus, a lot of employees still haven't been vaccinated.
Of this state back to the people and not to special interests in Gavin Newsom.
Now let's get to specifics.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
No, uh-oh.
Let's go. Hit me
Okay.
with it.
No. He's such a hard-eating journalist. No, uh-oh. I'm not going to ask you any difficult questions. You're my trans friend. Hold on, coming up next on Hannity, a black guy. Oh my God, a black guy who agrees with us.
California is a sanctuary state.
Yes.
You have sanctuary cities. Would you eliminate sanctuary status for the state of California?
I would keep it a sanctuary state for small businesses.
Meaning?
It's not a thing.
Meaning, I want small businesses to come into this state. I want people to.
Small businesses don't come into a state. Small businesses open in a state. That's corporations she's talking about, but okay.
Create wealthier. I want them to employ people. Yeah, but as far as immigration, no, I am not on that. We need to spend some money to have a fair and equitable immigration system in this state.
Gavin Newsom, for the record, he's given $500 checks to illegal immigrants.
Yes.
Guaranteeing health care for illegal immigrants.
Right.
He's guaranteeing education for illegal immigrants. It's a big issue. What would you do different? For example, if you could, would you continue building the border wall?
I am all for the
California doesn't build a boat. That's a federal thing.
wall. I would secure the wall. We can't have a state. We can't have a country.
But by the way, go down to San Diego and look at the border wall. It's pretty continuous. And then what happened over the weekend? Immigrants died because they were just taking a boat around the border wall. What else happens? People just climb over the border wall. Ladders. Boop, 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 boop.
Without a secure wall. You have two questions here. One is stopping people from coming in illegally into this state. And then the second question is, what do we do with the people that are here? We are a compassionate country, okay? We are a compassionate state.
We are not. Not under CAITLYN Jenner, we're not.
Some help. I mean, some people we're going to send back, okay? No question about that. But I have met some of the greatest immigrants into our country. I had a guy the other day, and he was Spanish, and I've known him for 17 years. And I said, you know what, come over here. I want to learn something. What is your status? And he said, I've been in this country 17 years. This is a gentleman. I mean, this is the greatest guy. I want him to be a U.S. citizen, okay? He's an asset to this state and to this country. But he's been trying for 17 years to get citizenship. He says, I'm hoping...
Did he come in illegally, or did he stay over?
I think it was on a visa.
On a visa.
Yeah, and stayed. But he's been there.
So he's illegal.
But he's lost 2 jobs because he didn't have legal status. He finally got this other job where I met him. And he is the nicest, greatest guy. He would make...
But he's here illegally.
I would do everything for him to stay here. And so you have to deal with it. We have to modernize.
Okay, but the governor of California has nothing to do with immigration law. Nothing. It's a federal law.
We have not modernized our immigration system in the United States to make it possible to people to immigrate into this country.
Question.
CAITLYN 2024.
Such a ridiculous
Would you
problem.
allow the state to work with ICE and enforce the laws? In other words, people get out of jail. They are supposed to be deported. Would you eliminate all of the sanctuary status that currently exists in this state?
I would do my absolute best to do that. It's not going to be easy, but I would do my absolute best. I am for securing this state. I am pro law enforcement. I am pro border protection. Okay, ICE, pro ICE.
And I am pro people staying here illegally. So that gentleman, that absolute gentleman that you met, that you said, come over here, I want to talk to you. What is your status? ICE wants to deport that person. You want to make that person a citizen. ICE wants to deport that person. Do you see?
We need these people, and they do a wonderful job.
All right, we have a lot more to get to, a lot of time. Thank you for being with us. When we come back, more with CAITLYN Jenner, and also we'll get her take on Silicon Valley's big tech censorship, so much more.
Substantial increase. Currently, the U.S. is reporting an average of 350,000 new cases each week. President Joe Biden is calling for more sharing of COVID-19 vaccine technology. The World Trade Organization is considering issuing a temporary waiver for intellectual property protections for COVID-19 vaccines. So far, more than 100 countries have come out in support of the measure. As always, when news breaks out...
Wait. So Biden doesn't want to patent the vaccine so that the world can have the vaccine and we can get this done quickly and defeat COVID as quickly as possible. But I thought that the Democrats were in the pockets of the big corporations. What is happening?
We'll break in. I'm Trace Gallagher. Now back to Hannity.
All right, as we continue to broadcast sunny Southern California, the highest tax state in the country, for the hour, we continue with California gubernatorial candidate CAITLYN Jenner. All right, let me get to this issue.
But by the way, the Supreme Court of the United States refused to hear any cases from California's sanctuary state law. Therefore, that law is constitutional because it was declared constitutional earlier on in the process. Court of Appeals, it got to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says, no, we're not going to hear it. Looks like the lower court did the right thing. Let's leave it. So sanctuary states are completely legal.
The issue of girls, transgender, sports, created a controversy. That was interesting to me, and your comments to Joy Behar, we got bigger problems than pronouns in the state of California. Joy Behar and I agree on nothing, but I thought that was very gracious of you, and I agreed with you. I don't think she did it on purpose.
No, most people, honestly, my mother at times misgendered me. By the way, my mother, okay?
This just must be blowing the minds of the Fox News viewers. Misgendered? Whoa.
She was, during World War II,
Hannity is so woke. This is so fantastic.
She was a parts inspector for the Avenger aircraft. She is a patriot. I love her to death. She's living up in Idaho. My mother loves you. Watches you every night. No.
Thank you.
She watches you every night, calls me after the show to discuss everything on Hannity. So, in 10 days, she turns 95.
I'm calling Mom.
Her name is Esther.
Okay.
And a quick little, maybe to the camera, happy birthday,
Of
Esther.
course.
Oh, I'm so glad this is happening.
I've always a comment. Birthday, you're in our love.
I mentioned a second ago, my mom sometimes, when she gets upset, I don't have a problem with that. The community has a
Honestly, I'd be interested in more stories about the Olympics.
Bigger problem with that than I
Hey, this is your idea, Lindsay from East Carolina.
do.
I wasn't going to broadcast this, but you're like, oh, please, come on.
I stick with my statements that I made. I think we have to make sure that the integrity of girls' sports is there. I think that's extremely important. But it's there's more to it than just what I said, because I just said biological boys in sports. There's more.
Okay, so tell us what the more to it is. This is your forum. Your mother's watching. Let us know what you think.
More to it than that. And I think in the future I will explain more of that. But for me, as a trans woman, I think role models are extremely important for young people. Trans issues people struggle with big time. Our suicide rate is 9 times higher than the general public. And for me to be a role model for them, to be out there, I am running for governor of the state of California. Who would have ever thunk that? We've never even had a woman governor.
But some are mad at you.
That's I don't, you know, I move on. I want
It's very articulate.
to be a role model, and I think and to be a leader. And I think the most important thing as a leader that you can do is your compassion, your honesty, and I think that sometimes is very lacking in politics. So I want to be an example to all people, not just trans people, that this is what you
Why on
can
the
do.
sports side of it, though?
Why don't I what?
Why did you, how you came down on the sports side of the issue?
I don't know why, to be honest with you, I don't know why they keep asking that. What do you think, Sean? I don't know. Why do they keep asking me that question?
Great question.
It is a good question, but we can deal with that. There's more problems here in the state of California than that. Yeah.
Well, understood, and there are. I want to get into...
Honestly, to me, Sean, my issues. I'm standing on my back porch a couple of years ago. I'm watching 200-foot flames coming up the hill at me. Why? 17 miles away in Chatsworth, a transformer blew. A few hours later, it traveled 17 miles. I had to eventually evacuate my house. It was so intense. We had not had it burn there in 35 years. It was so intense. We need to upgrade our grid, our electrical system. I think that's a position where we work with the electrical companies and Sacramento. I don't think Sacramento and the taxpayers should do all of it. They're already paying enough.
These rolling blackouts, just like wildfires.
Rolling
are huge
blackouts.
issues.
I put a generator at my house just because every time the wind blows, they turn off everything because they're afraid some system's going to spark and start a fire. We also, when I stood there watching this fire come at me, I never saw... Now, I love the fire department. I love these guys. They're out there. But when it was coming at my house, I never saw one helicopter. I never saw one fire truck. I didn't even hear a siren. Granted, I live in a more rural area, and they were probably overprotecting more houses. But we need to do a better job. We need an early detection system when it comes to fires. I've seen so many of them in Malibu. I've lived there for
There is an early detection system for fires.
48 years. And the biggest thing and the most important thing is that they jump on a fire as quick as possible and put it out when it's small. And once it gets away from them, they can't. You know.
Would you allow controlled burns? Isn't there a science
Yes.
behind forestry? Is that science being ignored in this state?
Yes.
Because when I watch it, it breaks my
Management-
heart. I lived in Santa Barbara. I watched Hope Ranch burn down after I had just left the state.
Yes. Yes, forest management is extremely important. Yeah. Just like at my house, and it's not even forest management at my house. The reason my house made it, because they say you have to keep any brush 50 or 75 feet. I think I had 75 feet clearance. When the fires came, they just went around my house so fast, it was gone because it's moving very fast. So it's almost the same thing for forest management, just a little bit of preparation, you know, and my house made it. But 5 houses around me were burnt to the ground. Lives were destroyed.
We now went through...
So in California, the deal is, yes, you have to maintain the forest. And yes, some people even call that raking the forest. It's not literally raking like Trump thought it was. But there are machines that clear forest growth, and that is called raking in other countries. We don't call it that here. But anyway, so that's neither here nor there. The federal government is responsible for 58% of the forest area in California. She's running for state governor. The state is responsible for only 28%. Is that right? 28%? They're not ringing the bell. 20%? Lower. 15. 10? 10%? 5, 4, 3, 3%. The state governor is responsible for 3% of the forest. But yeah, she's going to fix everything. She has no clue, like most people who are in the GOP, she has no clue of what reality entails.
This worldwide pandemic. Very huge differences between, say, red states, Florida, California. What would you have done differently if you were the governor with COVID-19?
First of all, Gavin Newsom on this issue has
Wait, hold on.
absolute-
What did he say about Florida?
Very huge differences.
You know, and my house made it, but
California. What would you have?
Sorry.
lives were destroyed.
We now went through this worldwide pandemic.
We're not done with it. We haven't went through it. It's still happening. God, these people.
Very huge differences between, say, red states, Florida, California.
Yes.
What would you have done differently
They did a
if you
terrible
were the
job with
governor with COVID-19?
First of all, Gavin Newsom on this issue has been absolutely horrible, okay? He's used it as a political tool in this state to shut it down, to control people, and that should not happen. He's
And has saved thousands of lives. Go on.
destroyed businesses. Thousands of businesses were destroyed, restaurants destroyed,
Thousands of lives were saved. Restaurants saved.
not being able to open up. He should have done a better job. I don't blame anybody back in March of 2020. I don't blame the federal government.
By the way, I did the math again today. Florida, if it was the same size as California, would have 180,000 more cases of COVID today. Well, not they wouldn't be active today, but you know what I'm saying. Over the course of the pandemic, California shaved 180,000 cases of COVID off the record compared to the way that DeSantis handled things in Florida. 180,000 cases. But here on the right wing, it's, oh, Florida did so. It was such a better job. 180,000 cases.
For coming down and saying, we're going to shut this country down quickly.
Just to put that into context, 180,000 people is like 3 American Airlines flights.
And they did. But I don't think anybody had any idea how it was going to be a political game to reopen. As you said, some states have done very well. You mentioned Florida.
180,000 cases.
We've done a terrible job. Easy example. Florida,
Yeah.
Orlando,
Yeah.
Disney World
Uh-huh.
opened up 9 months ago.
Yes, it did.
Anaheim,
Uh-huh.
Disneyland
Just opened.
opened up 6 days ago.
Right. So, critical infrastructure is what you're referring to here, right?
We're talking 9 months
Uh-huh.
of shutting Disneyland down when it didn't have to be shut down.
Okay, but we're talking 180,000 human beings who didn't catch COVID.
And the list of that goes over and over and over. And just his total mismanagement of
Disneyland. You're using Disneyland as your example. Disneyland is the hill upon you wish to die. Knott's Berry Farm. Knott's Berry Farm could have been. They were opening up berry farms across Florida. Blueberry farms, Loganberry farms.
this
By the way, IKEA, Loganberry, very good. I don't know why we don't do the Loganberry thing in this country.
process.
Would you, if you had to pick governors in the country, because like New York, Newsom, Whitmer, Murphy, Wolf, they all have the executive orders for nursing homes, which people don't seem to talk about.
Right.
I'm going to say it right now. DeSantis will be the Republican nominee for president in 2024.
Are there 2 or 3 governors that you look at in the country?
Okay, or Nikki Haley.
that you think are doing
Hold on, just to cover the bases here, or anyone else.
a great job?
But write that down right now. This is the day, and you're going to look back and you're going to say, Kevinly was right.
That you, if you become governor, would like to be?
Texas is doing a great job. Honestly, I would have coordinated with those people. I would have been calling them and talking what's working for you, what's not working for you. It becomes, and I look at the successful ones, they've all...
I would have called DeSantis and I'd say, so you have a lot, like 10,000 cases more per million people than we have. What is it that you're doing that's not working at all?
Been a collaboration between private business and government.
Would you open the state of California completely tomorrow?
Absolutely. Open it right up. Actually, you know what? It's
Just don't
Sean,
close In-N-Out Burger
Sean,
before I leave.
It's even on a small scale kind of working already. About 3 weeks ago, it was rumored, and rightfully so, it was rumored that I was looking in to run for governor. The next day, Gavin Newsom has a press conference that says the state is opening up July 15th. I'm laying there in bed and watching this, and I'm saying, yes, it's already working. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, he's blaming this recall on QAnon, anti-vaxxers, and anti-immigration citizens.
Yeah. I'm pro-illegal immigration. I want to organize. We really have to.
You're pro-legal immigration.
What's that?
You're pro-legal.
Legal immigration, yes.
Yeah.
Pro-legal immigration. Sorry, did I miss the legal part?
Yeah.
Thanks for catching me. Yeah, you got my back, Sean. I appreciate that.
Oh, I knew what you were saying.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. More with KAITLYN Jenner, running for the governorship of the state of California.
We'll do the math here. This is Texas compared to California. Okay, so they have about 6,000 more per million. There are 12 million more people. Well, I mean, we can do this math without even doing it. Texas would have had an additional 72,000 cases if it was the size of California. 72,000 cases. So Texas also not the example you want to use. Let's go back to Jenner here. Or not. This is on you, Lindsay.
26%.
This is now 43 minutes. 43 minutes. I'm not going to get my lab coat. I'm going to lose the audition. I'll never work again. I'll be dead from starvation because KAITLYN Jenner's going to win the governorship and all the food programs are going to be gone. I'm going to hit rock bottom and there will be no help for me there because you wanted to watch KAITLYN Jenner on Hannity.
So when you look at LA County,
Yeah.
and outside the city of Los Angeles, well, homicides up a whopping 113%. And Gavin Newsom is going to release 76,000 additional inmates for good behavior. 63,000 of them committed violent crimes. Would you do that?
No. He's not going to release them for good behavior. All that's happening is that early release is going from 20% to 30% roughly. That's the difference. Just to get, because they find that the people who do the good behavior and get the early release don't commit crimes again. Have a very, very low recidivism rate. It's like, I'm not going to get into it.
Not at all.
No, I need the lab coat right now, Marcy, and I don't want to pay full price for a lab coat.
I think on the releasing of the prisoners,
You know, if I don't find one at a thrift store, I should probably just go to like a Party City. There's probably Party City lab coats. Hold on.
criminal justice reform is very important, and we need to do that, okay? We need to rehabilitate people in prison and bring them back into the community safely. In his case, I don't know how many of these people have actually been rehabilitated to go back into society. And so I am 100%
Perfect.
behind our police force. Every place I go, if I see a cop, if I'm driving and I see a cop, I'll put my hand out the window and give him a thumbs up. If they're sitting there, I'll pull up and say, hey, thank you.
Hey, that's it. That's my support for the police. Thumbs up, police. Great job, KAITLYN. Well, you know what? I don't often use the term heroine because it's so close to heroin, and I just get it confused. Okay, that's the end of that thought.
For your service. You know, this citizen appreciates what you do. I 100% support our police forces. As far as I would be very tough on riding.
I can get one for $17 at Party City.
Using.
Well, no, like a real one, a real lab coat, medical supply lab coat would be quite a bit more than that.
As many forces as I could possibly use to stop the rioting and protect the citizens and the businesses of this community. I think that's extremely important. The National Guard, whatever we need to keep peace.
What is the police reform then that you want?
The only police reform I think we need.
I sit corrected. Lab coat from Walmart, $18.99. Not bad for a real lab coat. I mean, how even the costume lab coats, how different can they be than the real lab coats? It's a white coat with pockets.
Look, in every business out there, there's good people and there's bad people. Probably shouldn't be there. No matter if you're a journalist, okay, no matter what the business
I mean,
is.
the mob and the go ahead.
Yeah. No matter what it is, you're going to get good and bad. I think proper training, being able to weed out the good with the bad. I have a very good friend of mine who was in the sheriff's departments for years, and we talk a lot about this issue. And I was talking with him the other day about it, and he said, you know what the sad part is? The sheriff's department's training center is like almost empty. Nobody wants to be a cop anymore.
Do you blame them after
I
all that
cannot
we've been
blame
through?
them. I do not blame them, but as from Sacramento, that has to change.
This is important. How do you change that? In other words, like for example, I would suggest more training, and
Oh, yeah.
you know, I would look for more non-lethal options. I think would be a good idea.
Walmart has no lab coats in the stores. You have to order them.
But defunding, dismantling. My question to people: who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
I totally agree.
Who doesn't know the answer to that question?
It's just a stupid idea. Again, no common sense in Sacramento. Gavin Newsom, no common sense to release prisoners into the community and then say they're going to defund the police. I support the police 100%. I support the National Guard. I support our business owners in Los Angeles and around the country, and would do everything I can to protect them.
We have other issues. For example, Gavin Newsom talks about taxing water. I did a show from San Joaquin Valley. I'm just doing my research. And,
I know.
The Delta smelt prevented farmers from being able to farm.
Yeah.
It's not a small deal. This is farms now.
I've heard about the Delta smelt. Yes.
What would you do on that case?
Water's a big issue in this state.
It is.
Okay, it's a big issue in this state. To be honest with you, I mean,
The one who smelt it dealt it. Delta.
every year I follow, just as a resident, I follow what the waterfall is. I used to have a home in Tahoe. How much snowfall do we have there? Because that's where the bulk of our water comes from. And every year I see this guy go out and he's on the news and he has this big long pole and he takes it out of this field and he sticks it down to see what how much snow we have. You know, this year it was only down maybe,
Different kind of pole.
3 or 4 feet. Other days it's been like 10 feet where he's like pushing the pole down. You're thinking, oh, we're in pretty good shape.
Such a storyteller. Just she can spin a yarn.
Our water system's going up and down all the time. This year,
That's science for you. Our water system's going up and down all the time. My dad's a civil engineer. He is specializing in water. Right now, his head would both sides.
we're down. We've gotten here in the Los Angeles area really probably only 2 good rainfalls. And you can see that from my house. You can see how the vegetation is very, it's not green. It's just because it just hasn't got much water. We are headed for a drought. That has to be looked at in advance. Here's my crazy thinking. Again,
Okay.
Sean, logical thinking. We are now spending billions of dollars on this high-speed rail. okay? They talk about it all the time between LA and San Francisco. And I'm going, why are we doing that? I can get on a plane at LAX and I'll be in San Francisco
For high-speed rail.
in 50 minutes. You know, why do we need high-speed rail? Why don't we do this? Why don't we invest that money in...
Why don't we all just fly helicopters instead of driving? Why? Why not?
desalination plants along the coast. Take that water in any
I don't know what HB deaths are, the man.
time it's a bad year, desalinate the water, have some pipes going over the mountains out to the San Joaquin Valley for all our farmers, have it down here. We're in the Camarillo area. You look right over here. I drive through the farmyards every year. Why don't we just start to look at it?
Farmyards? Is that a term I don't know?
Wait a second, maybe water is a bigger issue than trying to move a few people
Believe it or not,
fast.
33 years ago when I started my radio career, that was a
Yeah, there are lots and lots of people in California working on the water issue. There are way too many people living in California for the water that nature supplies California. Yes, this has been worked on since my father was in college.
big issue in Santa Barbara. We got to take another break, though. I want to ask you when we get back about
No, I was interested in the water system.
taxes. Right? Highest tax state in the country. And how do you stop people from leaving your state?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that.
Quick break. We'll come back. California gubernatorial candidate
Lock 'em
CAITLYN
down.
Jenner.
Here we go.
What I liked about Donald Trump is he was a disruptor,
Hold on.
you know?
Let's go back because I want to hear this question.
Of those three people.
Okay, I guess we're going to have to listen to the
Continue
end.
Southern
Here we go.
California with gubernatorial candidate CAITLYN Jenner.
Yeah.
We've had 4 years of Donald Trump. We have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Give me your assessment of those three people.
What I liked about Donald Trump is he was a disruptor, you know? He came in and shook the system up.
You know who else would do that? Charlie Manson. How about we send Charlie Manson to Washington? He would disrupt things.
Okay? A lot of people didn't like that in
Yeah.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, especially the Capitol Hill police officers. They didn't like it. Not at all.
But he came in and shook the system up.
Yeah, he did.
I think he did some things that I agreed with, some things I didn't agree with.
You were critical on transgender issues.
On trans issues, LGBT issues, I was more hopeful at the beginning.
Right. And then you realize what a terrible mistake you made by supporting him in the first place. Just say it. You've already said it.
But there were some good things he did. On the other hand, Biden, I don't think I've agreed with anything. I don't think since he's been in there, he has done anything for the
Yeah, why would anyone agree with child tax credits? Why would anyone agree with furthering education? Why? Come on, people.
American worker, maybe other ones. So it is a 180-degree turn in our country.
Thank God.
Going the other direction.
Yes.
And it scares me.
Are you happy?
Do you have any specifics whatsoever to what you're saying? What is it that scares you? Just your lack of knowledge?
With
Are you afraid that he's going to ban beef? Is that what it is? Are you worried about Mr. Potato Head? He's going to be fine.
how everything worked out, and that's the first thing I would say. And the second thing that I would ask you is, you said to me that Bruce Jenner could not be doing this, what you as CAITLYN Jenner are doing, meaning running for governor. What did you mean by that?
When you deal with gender dysphoria, it affects you your whole life. I mean, you're a little kid, you're wondering, but I grew up in the 50s and 60s, and, you know, nobody knew what it was. It wasn't even a name. And so my whole life, I struggled with this issue. I snuck around. I wasn't honest with myself, a lot of times not honest with other people. And that all changed when I finally had my final conversation with God. I talked to all my children. I raised all my kids, 65, 64, 65
You have amazing
years.
kids.
Raised all my wonderful children, love them to death.
Successful?
They've all
He's got 65 kids?
done very well. Yes, they have. But discussed with all my children, but the last thing I had to do was sit down with my pastor. Because if anybody has any issues in their life that they're struggling, and everybody does, everybody's got stuff they have to deal with. And if they have any faith in their soul whatsoever, they sit there and they go,
What if they don't have a soul? What about that? What do you do?
God, why'd you do this? Why is this issue for me of identity in my head 24 hours a day, every day, 365 days out of the year? You can't take 2 aspirin, get plenty of sleep, wake up the next morning, and you're fine. It's just always there. It's who you are.
Boy, the Fox viewers right now just don't know how to take this.
But why?
They're all going to be buying Pride shirts on Amazon. Corner the market today, kids.
And so this question was always in my heart. And sitting, I sat down with my pastor, and you know what? I thought, is there a reason for this? Am I doing the right thing? Do I need to come out and make a difference in probably the most marginalized community in the world? After long thought, I said, you know what? At this point in my life, my kids are raised, everybody's fine. Maybe it's time I take care of myself. Because when that day comes and you go up to the pearly gates and you're walking up the stairs and you're seeing God in front of you and you just ask that question, did I do a good job? Did I do the right thing? And just hope he says, hey, come on in. I did a good job. So that's what my life's been about. I'm just trying to be myself, and I can be myself now. I couldn't do it before because I had too many secrets in my book, Secrets of My Life. I got all my secrets out. I have no secrets anymore. And I just wake up and be myself all day.
One, good for her. Two, I really hope that's not what heaven is like.
But I still feel like I'm doing the right thing. And that's the most important thing. Yeah, and I think when I get up there that day, hopefully I'm in.
Caitlyn Jenner, thank you for being with us.
It was my pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Sean.
Good to talk to you. Good to see you again.
Now, we're going to go find my plane around the corner. I'm going to take you for a flight.
I'm going right, wheels up any minute. All right. All right. Thank you for your time.
Wheels
we do
up
wish
any
you
minute.
nothing but the best. We're going to follow this race closely. Final thought.
That's funny because, final thought coming up. I really hope it's about this interview, and I hope it is the final thought that he ever issues. And a lot of commercials. Hannity is their money bag, and where's the final thought? Okay, well, let's see.
Back in, another higher tax state, New York tomorrow, and we'll have an incredible show planned for you with reaction to our interview tonight with Caitlyn Jenner, also Mark Meadows, Newt Gingrich, so much more. We hope you'll always set your DVR, never miss an episode.
These are some strange bedfellows. I don't get it. I do not. I just don't. I don't know if they think that Caitlyn has the best chance of winning in California, because they are backing that horse. I mean, that must be it. Like, how do you capture young California? Well, you run someone who's trans, is probably what they're thinking, because California is a very liberal state. But that all depends on who shows up for the recall, and if the recall goes through. $400 million, that's what it's going to cost us. Kevin, you need to check your emotions. You are too blind. You know what? I'm going to stick around for a couple of minutes here. How so, the man? Explain to me how I need to check my emotions and how I'm blind. Please. Too much faith in the Democrats. Shouldn't be too faithful to either side. The man, I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I didn't vote for Hillary. So no, I do not have too much faith in the Democrats. At all. Not at all. What else? Tell me how my emotions are making me blind, though. So I don't have faith in politicians. It's not the way this works. I look at results. I look at policies. Right now, the Republicans have no policies, except we need to stop Biden. Look at what Mitch McConnell said today. His entire agenda is devoted to stopping Joe Biden. That's it. That's the policy. In the last RNC, the Republican National Convention, there was no platform. For the first time in ever, the Republicans didn't put forward a platform. I'm just going to assume you know what that is. But what else, the man? I'm not a Democrat. What else? Any other advice? Or do you want to just apologize for saying that I'm too emotional and too blind? No? The man? Anyone? Waiting on the man. Say hi to Chico for me. Let's see. You guys aren't very delayed. No, the man, why are you taking so long to respond? I might just check out now. All right, so I think we've cleared that up. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you want to support the broadcast, because Lindsay is making me bankrupt and I'm soon going to starve to death, you can send me money at these places right there. The recall is driven by elite, the rich. It's ridiculous. It's not really driven by the rich. Would I like to recall Gavin Newsom? Yeah. Do I think he's a fantastic hypocrite? Yes, absolutely. And that's it. Nothing else from the man. All right. Well, I was hopeful. I was hopeful that we could have a little bit of a conversation because I think those can be enlightening. Be safe, everyone, especially while driving, says producer Joanna. Good advice. Also, while using your hairdryer in the bathtub, be very careful. What's going on personally here? Personally, I gotta go get a lab coat. Yeah, LP wanted a conversation. LP, by the way, LP was in a car accident earlier today. LP, how are you feeling? I haven't checked in a while. How are you feeling? You got broadsided in your Jeep. It spun around 180 degrees. Robert, have a good evening. Eve, be good. Be safe while you're driving. Oh, I get why Joanna was saying. Oh, that was a dig on LP. LP, take some ibuprofen. If you wake up in the middle of the... you got rear-ended? LP, this is not the time for sexy talk, okay? Let's keep it to politics, religion, or safety. That's what this show is about. The man, no other response from the man? Nothing. It's been like 5 minutes since I started this conversation. You're too blind. You're too blind with your emotions. You always trust the I'm not a Democrat. All right, that's that. All right, well, I hope everybody else tonight that wants to get rear-ended. I'm harmful, so I'm not even going to finish that thought. Guys, be good to each other. I am going to go find a lab coat.